Yo, girl, Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Drama Life Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, because you know you got to hold your breath for justice, to see justice before all face to bleak. Yes, hiss your girl, Cadillac. Anyways, I'm coming through today, guys. April the 13th, 2025. We are going to finish up reading this bill. This is House Bill 183, Florida House Bill 183. All right, I do have two other parts that I can link in the description. If not, if it's not in the description, just scroll up. The two previous videos to this are me reading the full entire bill. It's a lot to get through. This is a bill that they're proposing for Florida to go from 85% time served to go to 72%. But it looks like it's a lot of stipulations, and I was reaching out to the couple of people that I seen posting about it, because it's hardly nobody, to see if they can kind of more simplify a way to explain this bill or whatever, but I haven't got an answer yet. So where we left off, we just hit page 26. So I'm gonna back up and just read the full part. Okay. Okay, notwithstanding S948.01, adjudication of guilt or imposition of sentence shall not be suspended, deferred, or withheld, and the defendant is not eligible for gain time or credits under S944.275 or any form of discretionary early release other than pardon or executive clemency or conditional medical release under S 947.149 before serving the minimum sentence. Section 12, subsection 2 of section 775.0875, Florida statute is amended to read 775.0875, unlawful taking, possession, or use of law enforcement officers' firearm, crime reclassification penalties. If a person violates subsection 1 and commits any other crime involving the firearm taken from the law enforcement officer, such crime shall be reclassified as follows. A1. In the case of felony of the first degree to a life felony, in the case of felony of second degree to a felony of the first degree, in the case of felony of the third degree to the felony of a second degree. For purpose of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credits, eligibility under Chapter 944, a felony offense that is reclassified under this paragraph is ranked one level above the ranking under S 921.0022 or 921.0023 of the felony offense committed. B. In the case of a misdemeanor to a felony of the third degree for purpose of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credits, eligibility under Chapter 944, such offense is ranked in a level 2 of the offense severity ranking chart. Section 13, subsection 3 of Section 777.03, Florida statute is to amend to read 777.03, accessory after the fact. 3. Except as otherwise provided in S 921.0022 for purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credit eligibility under Chapter 944, the offense of accessory after the fact is ranked two levels below. Okay. Accessory after the fact is ranked 2 levels below the ranking under. So this is the only one so far that looks like it's going down rather than up a ranking. The offenses of accessory after the fact is ranked 2 levels below the ranking under S921.0022 or S921.0023 of the felony offense committed. Section 14, paragraph A of subsection 4 of section 777.04. Florida statute is amended to read 777.04 attempts, solicitation, and conspiracy. 4A, except as otherwise provided in SS.104.091, and then it has 2, and then 379.2431, and then it has 1 in little quote things, 828.125, and then it has 2 in quotes, 849.254 in quotes, 893, well, brackets or whatever those things are. I forgot what they're called. 893.135, and then it has the 5 in the little quote things, and 921.0022. The offense of criminal attempt, criminal solicitation, or criminal conspiracy is ranked for purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credit. Eligibility under Chapter 944, 1 level below the ranking S921.0022 or S921.0023 of the offense. Okay, now we're on page 28. Attempted, solicited, or conspired to. If the criminal attempt, criminal solicitation, or criminal conspiracy is of an offense ranked in level 1 or 2 under S.921.0022 or S.921.0023, such offense is a misdemeanor of the first degree, punishable as provided in S.775.082 or S.775.083. Section 15, subsection 3 of section 784.07. Florida statute is amended to read 784.07 assault or battery of law enforcement officer and other specified personnel, reclassification of offense, minimum sentences. Any person who is convicted of a battery under paragraph 2B and during the commission of the offense such person possessed a firearm or a destructive device as those terms are defined in S 790.001 shall be sentenced to a minimum term of imprisonment of 3 years. A semi-automatic firearm and its high capacity detachable box magazine as defined in S 775.087, 3 is in brackets, or a machine gun is defined in S 790.001 shall be sentenced to a minimum term of imprisonment of 8 years, notwithstanding S 948.01 adjudication of guilt or imprisonment of sentence shall not be suspended, deferred, or withheld, and the defendant is not eligible for gain time under S 944.275 or any form of discretionary early release, other than pardon or executive clemency or conditional medical release under S.947.149 before serving the minimum sentence. Section 16, Paragraph A and B of subsection 7 of section 794.011. Florida statutes are amended to read 794.011 SEX battery. 7A, a person who is convicted of committing a SEX battery on or after October 1st, 1992 is not eligible for gain time credits under. It says a person who is convicted of committing S battery on or after October 1st, 1992 is not eligible. Okay. Notwithstanding paragraph A, sentences imposed for offenses committed on or after July 1st, 2023. A person who is convicted of committing or attempting, soliciting, or conspiring to commit SEX battery in violation of this section is not eligible for gain time or credits under S 944.275, Section 17, subsection 7 of Section 794.0115. Florida statutes is amended to read 794.015. Dangerous. Oh gosh, this is getting hard. Dangerous SEX felony offender, mandatory sentencing. 7. A defendant sentenced to a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment under this section is not eligible for gain time or credits under S. 944.275 or any form of discretionary early release other than pardon or executive clemency or conditional medical release under S. 947.149 before serving the minimum sentence. Section 18, subsection 2 of Section 794.023, Florida. What page we going into? Oh yes, we on page 30, so 10 more pages. This is a lot. Still don't even understand this stuff. Okay, statute is amended to read 749.023 SEX battery by multiple perpetrators, reclassification of offenses. 2. A violation of S. 794.011 shall be reclassified provided in this subsection if it is charged and proven by the prosecution that during the same criminal transaction or episode more than one person committed an act of SEX battery on the same victim. A felony of second degree is reclassified to felony of first degree. A felony of first degree is reclassified to life felony. This subsection does not apply to life felonies or capital felonies. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credit, eligibility under Chapter 944, a felony offense that is reclassified under this subsection is ranked one level above the ranking under S. 921.0022 or S. 921.0023 of the offense committed. Section 19, subsection 7 of Section 810.145. Florida statute is amended to read 810.145 digital, I don't know how to say that, VOYEURISM. 7A, a person who violates this section and who has previously been convicted of or adjudicated delinquent for any violation of this section commits a felony of the second degree punishable as provided in S 775.082 and S 775.083 or S 775.084. B. If a person who is 19 years or age, oh, they got a typo. If a person is 19 years, it's supposed to say of age or older. It says if a person is 19 years or age or older commits a violation of this section, and it is a family or household member of the victim or holds a position of authority or trust with the victim, the court shall reclassify the felony to the next higher degree as follows. A felony of the third degree is reclassified as a felony of the second degree. A felony of the second degree is reclassified as felony of the first degree. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921, an incentive gain time or credit eligibility under Chapter 944, a felony that is reclassified under this subsection is ranked one level above the ranking under S 921.0022 of the felony offense committed. Section 20, subsection 4, the section 812.081 Florida statute is amended to read 812.081 theft of or trafficking in trade secrets, definitions, penalties provided to foreign entities, restitution. 4. Whenever a person is charged with violation of this section, which is committed with the intent to benefit a foreign government, a foreign agent, or a foreign instrumentality, yes. The offense for which the person is charged shall be reclassified as follows. In the case of theft or trade secret, from a felony of the third degree to a felony of the second degree. In the case of trafficking in trade secrets, from a felony of the second degree to a felony of the first degree. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining incentive gain time, eligibility under Chapter 944, a felony offense that is reclassified under this subsection is ranked one level above the ranking under S. 921.0022 of the offense committed. Section 21, subsection 5 of Section 817.568. The statute is amended to read 568. Criminal use of personal identification information. If an offense prohibited under this section was facilitated or furthered by the use of a public record as defined in S 119.011, I'll just say 011, the offense is reclassified to the next higher degree as follows. A misdemeanor of the first degree is reclassified as felony of the third degree. A felony of the third degree is reclassified as felony of the second degree. A felony of the second degree is reclassified as felony of the first degree. Page 33. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and rehabilitation credit eligibility under Chapter 944, a felony offense that is reclassified under this subsection is ranked one level above the ranking under S. 921.0022 of the felony offense committed, and the misdemeanor offense that is reclassified under this subsection is ranked in level 2 of the offense severity ranking chart in S. 921.0022, Section 22, Paragraph B of subsection 3 of section 831.032 Florida statute is amended to read 831.032 offenses involving forging or counterfeiting private labels. 3B. For any person who, having previously been convicted for an offense under this section, is subsequently convicted for another offense under this section, but subsequent offense shall be reclassified as follows. In the case of the felony of the second degree to a felony of the first degree. In the case of the felony of the third degree to felony of the second degree. In the case of a misdemeanor of the first degree to felony of the third degree. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credit eligibility under Chapter 944, such offense is ranked in level 4 of the offense severity ranking chart. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credit eligibility under Chapter 944, a felony offense that is reclassified under this paragraph is ranked one level above the ranking under S 921.0022 or S 921.0023 of the felony offense committed. Section 23, subsection 2 of Section 843.22 Florida statute is amended to read 843.22 traveling across county lines with intent to commit a burglary. 2. If a person who commits a burglary travels any distance with the intent to commit the burglary in a county in this state other than the person's county of residence, the degree of burglary shall be reclassified to the next higher degree for purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credit eligibility under Chapter 944. A burglary that is reclassified under this section is ranked one level above the ranking specified in S. 921.0022 or S. 921.0023 for the burglary committed. Section 24, paragraph B of subsection 1 to subsection 2 of section 874.04 Florida statutes are amended to read 874.04 gang-related offenses, enhanced penalties upon a finding of the fact finder that the defendant committed we're on page 35 now. Charged offense for purpose of benefiting, promoting, or furthering the interests of a criminal gang. The penalty under any felony or misdemeanor or any delinquent act or violation of law, which would be a felony or misdemeanor, if committed by an adult, may be enhanced. Penalty enhancements affects the applicable statutory maximum penalty only. Each of the findings required as a basis for such sentence shall be found beyond a reasonable doubt, and the enhancement will be as follows. 1B. A misdemeanor of the first degree may be punished as it were a felony of the third degree. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921, in determining rehabilitation credits eligibility under Chapter 944, such offense is ranked in Level 1 of the offense severity ranking chart. The criminal gang multiplier in S. 921.0024 does not apply to misdemeanor enhanced under this paragraph. 2A. A felony of the third degree may be punished as if it were a felony of the second degree. A felony of the second degree may be punished as if it were a felony of the first degree. A felony, Got don't disturb. I'm almost done. Please don't disturb at this moment. Okay, a felony of first degree may be punished as if it were a life felony. For purposes of sentencing under Chapter 921 and determining rehabilitation credit eligibility under page 36, Chapter 944, such felony offense is ranked as provided in S 921.0022 or S.921.0023 and without regard to the penalty enhancement in this subsection. Section 25, Section 944.281, Florida statute is amended to read, okay, where are we? 944.281, ineligibility to earn gain time due to disciplinary action. The department may declare that a prisoner who commits a violation or any law of the state or rule of regulation of the department or institution on or after January 1st, 1996, and who is found guilty pursuant to S.944.28, and then it has two in brackets, shall not be eligible to earn rehabilitation credits for up to 6 months follows in the month in which the violation occurred. The department shall adopt rules to administer this section. And they crossed out the provisions of this section. So it just reads, the department shall adopt rules to administer this section. Section 26, the subsection 1 of section 944.473, Florida statute is amended to read, 944.473, inmate substance abuse testing program. 1. Rules and procedures. The department shall establish programs for random and reasonable suspicion DRUG and alcohol testing by urinalysis or other non-invasive procedures for inmates to effectively identify those inmates abusing DRUGs, alcohol, or both. The department shall also adopt rules relating to fair, economical, and accurate operations and procedures of a random inmate substance abuse testing program and a reasonable suspicion substance abuse testing program by urinalysis or other, on page 37, non-invasive procedure which enumerate penalties for positive test results, including but not limited to the forfeiture of rehabilitation credits. And they crossed out both basic and incentive gain time. And which do not limit the number of times an inmate may be tested in any one fiscal calendar year. Section 27, paragraph B of subsection 1 of section 944.70, Florida statute is amended to read, 944.70, conditions for release from incarceration. 1B, a person who is convicted of a crime committed on or after January 1st, 1994 may be released from incarceration only upon expiration of person's sentence, as reduced by accumulated outstanding deed or rehabilitation credit, as directed by an executive order granting clemency upon placement in a conditional release program pursuant to S.947.1405 or a conditional medical release program, pursuant to S.947.149, or 5, upon the granting of control release, including emergency control release, pursuant to S.947.146. Section 28, paragraph I and J of subsection 3 of section 944.801 Florida statutes are amended to read 944.801 Education for state prisoners. 3. The responsibilities of the correctional education. Okay, we're on page 38. Ooh, praise God, there's a lot. And do we even understand what we just read? Program shall be I. Ensure that every inmate who has 2 years or more remaining to serve on his or her sentence at the time that he or she is received at an institution and who lacks basic and functional literacy skills as defined in S.1004.02 attends not fewer than 150 hours of subsequential instruction in a correctional adult basic education program. The basic and functional literacy level of an inmate shall be determined by the average composite test score obtained on a test approved for this purpose by the State Board of Education. 1. Upon completion of the 150-hour instruction, the inmate shall be retested, and if the composite test score of the functionality literacy is not attained, the department is authorized to require the inmate to remain in the instructional program. 2. Highest priority of inmate participation shall be focused on youthful offenders and those inmates nearing release from the correctional system. An inmate shall be required to attend the 150-hour of adult basic education instruction unless such inmate A is serving a life sentence or is under sentence of DEATH, is specifically exempted for security or health reasons. C is housed at a community correctional center. Road, this is page 39. Prison, work camp, or vocational center. D attains a functional literacy level after attendance in fewer than 150 hours of adult basic education instruction. E is unable to enter such instruction because of insufficient facility, staff, or classroom capacity. 4. The Department of Corrections shall provide classes to accommodate those inmates assigned to correctional or public work programs after normal working hours. The department shall develop a plan to provide academic and vocational classes on a more frequent basis and at times that accommodate the increasing number of inmates with working assignments to the extent that resources permit. If an inmate attends and actively participates in the 150 hours of instruction, the Department of Corrections may grant a one-time award of up to 6 additional days of rehabilitation credit, which must be credited and applied as provided by law. Active participation means, at a minimum, that the inmate is attentive, responsive, cooperative, and completes assigned work. J. Recommended the award of the additional rehabilitation credit. for inmates who receive a high school equivalency diploma or vocational certificate. Section 29, subsection 15 of Section 947.005 Florida statute is amended to read 947.005 definitions as used in this chapter unless the context clearly indicates otherwise. Oh, we're going into page 40. 15. Tentative release date means the date projected for the prisoner's release from custody by virtue of gain time and credits granted or forfeited pursuant to S.944.275. 3 is in brackets, then we got A in brackets. And it says, Section 30. This act shall take effect July 1st, 2025. And that's the end. So I'm left not even knowing. We read that whole thing. If you want to go back, you can look at part 1, where I read the first 10 pages of House Bill 183, Florida House Bill 183. Part 2, I read pages 11 through 20. No, I'm sorry. 11 through 35, I believe. No, not 35, 25. Oh, I'm messing up. 11 through 25. And now I just read you pages 26 through 40. So that is the full bill. I'm still not understanding it. It's a lot of, it seems like it's re-sentencing almost, because a lot of crimes went up a level in severity, and then it seems as though they're going to figure the 72% off of that. I'm not sure if I'm mistaken, because like I said, it's a lot to read and it's harder to even understand. Then I don't know what applies to what person, like what actually applies to my husband in this. So it's a lot of back and forth. I'm guessing it says it goes into effect July 1st. So, but either way, I guess having the classes, that's going to be a good thing, because they need to be doing something rather than just being shelled. And I know people on the outside like to say that, oh, they don't deserve education. They don't do, but it determines how they act upon departing from prison. Not everybody in prison, not even my husband, is there for life. So he has a release date. I'm starting to believe anybody with a release date is truly highly blessed. So my husband, who was wrongfully convicted to 40 years, he has a release date. And though much of his life was taken, and I fought like jail to break his story and get him home, but it never happened. It's very difficult to get an innocent person out of prison. So our only hope is that we outlive his sentence. Ah, that rhymed that I wasn't even trying. I wasn't even trying, girl. But our only hope is to outlive his sentence. You know, I just went through a lot of health issues, and it had me thinking like, oh my gosh, like what if I didn't make it to that day that he comes home? I want to make it to see him come home. And also I'm legally blind, so I want to make it before I completely lose my sight too. So we were hoping that under this bill, my husband would have some alleviation off his wrongful sentence and he can come home a little bit earlier. So I don't know. I'm still waiting on others to actually break down this bill, or maybe once it goes into effect, probably what they would do is they would probably, I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, each incarcerated citizen, because we don't call them inmates, each incarcerated citizen has their own classification officer. So I'm thinking they can get with their classification officer and find out what this bill means in their specific um, situation. Does it mean them getting a different release date, upon completion of, are they eligible? Have they been reclassified higher and then now, like, and then how did that reclassification work? Is that like people already sentenced, or is that for new people coming in committing crimes and being sentenced under the new classification of each crime? Like, I don't know. It's so much not understood in this, but it's saying it's passed, so I don't know what it's gonna mean. But at least we got through reading the whole thing. All right, guys. It's your girl Cadillac. I will talk to you later.